Good morning, champion. How are you? Happy Monday. Coach Tina here. Let me get us pinned to the right place this morning. So happy to have everybody here. And I hope your Monday is off to a great start. This is a fun week because we all know that by the end of the week, by this time next week, we will be coming in with daylight savings time. If you're watching us from out of the country and you don't follow daylight savings, please be aware that it's going to be a little bit off. It'll be an hour difference. So do that accordingly. Don't want you to miss out on anything because we've got some really great stuff coming up. I do meet every Monday for Monday Morning Motivation. It's 7 a.m. Central Time, my time, and hopefully you're able to find this and get what you need out of it. We have a really fun concept going on today. The theme is March 4th. And if you don't know it, today is the 4th of March. I actually was going to title this March 4th, March Forward. When I put the date down, I went, wait a minute, we got to call this March 4th. And then I looked up some information. I had already done research on March Forward. And then I went, wait a minute, looked up March 4th, and I loved it even more. So I'm getting a treat this morning too. I always kind of feel like I get a little blessing as I do these because I get so much out of it, because when I'm teaching, I'm learning, right? Like the skill of being able to teach something, that's just that next level. So love it, love it, love it. Good morning, Margaret. I'm so happy to see you here. And if anybody else is watching this now or on the replay, go ahead and put the hashtags in there. Let us know you're here and that you're watching the material. So appreciate it. It helps with the Facebook algorithm when you do that. So let's talk a little bit more about March 4th, because it's not just a day, it's today. And I think that it's really important that you guys know that today is the only day that is a command or its own sentence when you put the date in there. So let's talk about March 4th. But before we do, what are your plans for March? You know, whenever we start the beginning of a new month, I like to come in with, let's get centered on what are our big things that we have to do this month. You know, some of it'll be birthdays, UPW, any other UPW takers in the house, you can put that in the comments, is coming up at the end of March. So 4 days of amazingness will be happening in the Tony Robbins world. And if you haven't done a UPW, which stands for Unleash Your Power Within, you definitely want to do that. It is an amazing experience. So UPW is on my radar. I also have 2 other conferences this month. Now, I won't be going to them. I will be just listening to them when I can. But wow, March is going to be, just like coming in, like, what do they say? In like a lion, out like a lamb, something like that. So it's going to be an amazing month, and I would love to hear your plans for the month. I see, very nice. I'm raising $100,000 for St. Baldrick's and getting the shave on the 16th, then UPW on the 21st. Awesome. Awesome. I want to hear how this $100,000 goes. That's amazing. I want to be a 6-figure giver at some point in my life, and that is an amazing thing to be working on. Curious to know about the shave. You got to tell us all of this. This is some amazing stuff. Oh, Jen, you're on. You made it. Oh, I'm so excited for you. That sounds amazing. Tell us about the shave so that we know. All right. Well, when I was doing my research on March 4th and what it stood for, I got some great things. So the first one was to do something you've always wanted to do or something you know needs to get done. So on this March 4th, what is something that you've always wanted to do or something that you know needs to be done? And could you fit that into this month? What could you do to shift things up a little bit so that you're doing something you've always wanted to do? Now, it might not be like the final thing you've always wanted to do, but maybe it's a piece of it. And along those lines, I have something really fun to report. I got a text or a messenger this weekend from Claudia. Claudia is one of our champions, and she participated in the beginning of the year. We did the 7 days challenge, and each day was a different day. And when we got to the fun day, Claudia said, I realize I haven't been allowing myself to have fun or take vacations or do anything like that. And she said, I'm going to build a board with all the places I want to go to. And so the text I got from her this week, I had gotten one other text after that where she said that she had made her board and she was going to figure out a way to go on her vacation. And so she sent me pictures on the beach with her little drinks and family and just enjoying herself. She had made her dream board come true this week. And so kudos to Claudia for following through with her goals set in January, finding a way to make it happen. I don't know if this fits her March 4th, something you've always wanted to do, but that's the way you want to think about this, is what could you add to this month that would excite you, that would thrill you, that would fill you up with some juju, if you will, for what you've wanted to do. And so here we go. I've always wanted to raise money for cancer. This is finally the time God has released me to do it. Very nice. Very nice. And I guess that sounds for St. Baldrick. So it's probably shaving your hair for cancer. Wow. Congrats. Congrats. And then Margaret, of course, is excited about UPW. And then St. Patrick's Day, which St. Patrick's Day, I know, is your holiday, Margaret. So that's awesome. 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 All right. And yes, we are so thrilled for Claudia. And Jen is doing 20 inches of hair. Fantastic, you guys. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I want you to be thinking about that big thing that you're going to do and put it on the calendar. Block it. Schedule it. Take a step towards it. You will be so satisfied when you do that. The other definition for March 4th that I found that just, again, thrilled me was engaging in willpower and hopefulness often enough to take just one step. So, of course, when I was thinking about March and the theme for this month, I always use March as an action word, right? Because little you may know, but I was in the Army at one point and we marched, right? And I was horrible at it. I didn't know my right from my left. The boots hurt, all that stuff. But when given the command to march forward, we did. And so I love this take one step, because sometimes we got to take those steps even when we don't want to, right? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It's hard. And yet just one step, the perspective is so different from that one step. And then oftentimes by taking the one step, we're ready to take the next step. And it makes it easier to take the third step, right? And so on and so on and so on. So when you march forth, engaging that willpower, that determination, that discipline within, but also being hopeful, that is what makes it magical. And do that often enough, having that hope, that compelling future that draws you forward, that will make the difference. Check all of your, yes. Just one step. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So the next thing about March 4th is just as good. It can mean that we are soldiering up. So again, that draw to my Army days, and we're plodding and muddling through. We're doing the best that we can. When we march forth, when we go forward, regardless of the circumstances around us, we will get to that other destination. And it's usually a better place. Now, we might have to go down into the valley, right? A lot of times we go valley first, but there's always an upside. There's always that through the clearing, get out of what you're in. It's all seasonal. That's what it's about. Yes, yes. Yes, still need to soldier up. I love it. And that's cool because we need to be our own armies, right? But together we can be this like collective of champions soldiering forward. And that really brings me to the fun thing that I'm doing this month. I always start off my months with master classes. So the March master class, which we're holding it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this month, and it will be in whatever timeline that works for you. But it's going to be 7:30 my time on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then if you get into the VIP, we've got some evening stuff, and the weekend workshop opens up for you where we dig in deeper. It's going to be, with our March theme, a fitness boot camp. Now, I'm not talking we're going to be doing yoga or calisthenics or something like that, but we are going to be doing an upgrade on our body, on our mind, and our soul. Remember, it all starts between the ears, and we will be addressing maybe the things that are holding you at the level you are now. How can we have that breakthrough to get you to the next level? Because that's what it's about. It's about pushing yourself to be the person you know you're meant to be. All right. And I love, look at these, the Champion Collective. Woo, a class I'm going to teach. That could be true. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you are interested in joining the masterclass, I will put it in the comments after we're done. And yes, Margaret says the master classes are always right on time. Isn't it amazing? I don't plan this, you guys. This is just the way the universe works. And you know, I have the 7F framework from Ula that I follow. And we did fitness last month. I mean, we did finance last month, and we are doing fitness this month. Next month is going to be field, and field is our business month. And it's about passion. And I think it's going to be just like the others. It's going to fit perfectly into what it is we are doing. And yes, Margaret is talking about one of the new additions to our world, and that is Fingo. So we are playing monthly bingo. We have the finance board from last month that you can be working still, but we also have the new fitness board, which will be released before we start on Wednesday. So be ready for the fitness Fingo board coming your way. All right, let me make sure that I haven't, see, I've got my fitness bingo board will be coming. Oh, it said February. Oh, I didn't save it when it did its thing. So we're going to take that one off, but it's the March board is going to be fitness. And then what's an action that you are going to take today, March 4th day, as a result of listening to this video? This live for those of you that are on, but those of you catching on the replay, don't miss out. Put in the comments an action that you are committing to. Remember, we have the 4 levels of commitment. And if you don't have the 4 levels of commitment ingrained in your mind, I have a very short course on that. It's about 15 minutes. I'd love to share it. So just put 4 levels into the comments and I will get you the link on that. And let's see, what else have we got going on? Just very curious what March 4th looks like to you. So don't forget to put in the comments your thoughts on what you're going to do this month. I love it. Margaret is going to be doing Egoscue again today. Isn't it funny, Margaret? Margaret is doing a practice that they're going to talk about at UPW. It is a postural structural support. And one of the things that happens is it feels really good. And I found this too, that I just wanted to keep doing it. It didn't feel like I didn't need to not do it anymore. And so I love that you're already kind of got the Egoscue bug. and you are thinking about doing it again. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. All right. March 4th looks like listening for the command and taking those marching steps on command of the Lord. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I was going to say that I think it was the third statement. Yes, muddling through. Soldiering up, plotting, and muddling through. There is a scripture verse that has always gotten me through, like when I was having my divorce, when things were the lowest. It's about getting out of the miry muck. And when I saw that word muddling, that's what it made me think of, that muck that sometimes it just like Oklahoma, we have this dirt that's like mostly clay. And if you are out and we've had rain and you get your feet stuck in the mud, it literally cakes around your shoes and it just weighs them down. And so whenever I think of the miry muck, I think of that nastiness on my shoes and how you can barely lift your feet up. But we can muddle through. Also reminds me of an Army story, and we'll end on this one. But I remember they would do this thing called live fire. And I did not like live fire day. Okay. And what that meant was we had to practice our low crawls. So we would get down on the ground and we would have these like barricades and barbed wire to crawl under and just this nasty stuff. And they would shoot live rounds over our heads. Now, apparently it was higher than like we were, but it sounded like just terrifying. And we had to crawl through. They would add water and mud and everything, and we would have to crawl through this. And I did not want to do this at all. But my drill sergeant was not going to let me not do it, right? And he was at me, telling me to keep going, keep going. And I just remember the water mixing with the tears, thinking, what in the heck am I doing out here? What is this? I'm never going to have this experience in my life. But I did it. I pushed through that miry muck. And I got to tell you, have been so many times in my life where I have been in a bad place. And I think to myself, but at least it wasn't as bad as that mud crawl that I had to do and hated. And it reframes my mind. It reminds me that this is the worst that I had. And this, whatever I'm dealing with, is not as bad. And that wasn't even really that big of a deal, right? Like now that I look back at it, I'm like, I probably could do it again and it wouldn't sound as bad as some of the things I've had to deal with. But yeah. I love it. Margaret saying some people go to the spa to get covered in mud. Yes. So you can muddle through that way too, which is really the preferred method. All right, you guys. I hope you have a really great and I've got a Psalm reference. Thank you for that. That's probably Jen. I don't have I don't have a hashtag to give you guys today, but just remember that I appreciate you guys being here, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about your plans for March 4th. All right. Have a really great week, and don't show up for the masterclass. Love to have you. I'll put the link in there and would love to see you guys there. Take care.